Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Talks with Jinesh. In today's episode, we're going to talk about the top 4 things that you need to bring with you to Canada, and these are things that are absolutely necessary and things that you cannot live without for the most part. Without any further ado, guys, let's get into the video. You're watching Talks with Jinesh. Let's get started. The number one item that you cannot forget to bring are going to be your documents. Now, it sounds pretty obvious, but wait till you hear me out. Your documents are going to include your air ticket, your passport, and passport because it is going to contain your visa, and the visa will be checked in Toronto. So as soon as you get down in Toronto, they're going to look for your visa, and if you don't have your visa, obviously if they cannot find the stamp there, then you're going to be sent back home. So make sure that you keep your passport safe. Now, they may not check for your visa in all of the other airports that you will travel. For example, if you're going to do layovers in other airports, they may not check your visa there. But when you get to Canada, Toronto, your first airport, that is when they're going to look for your visa, and then you can move on to Newfoundland or British Columbia, wherever you're going. In your documents, you also want to include your driver's license. Now, there are many reasons why you should bring your driver's license if you already have it, and if you don't, that's fine as well. If there is time in your home country, try and get your driver's license there, so that when you come here, it becomes a lot easier for you to get your driver's license here. Now, I'll tell you quickly what happens if you don't bring your driver's license. When you get here, you will have to apply for your driver's license as a beginner. You will first have to go through the written test, and 8 months later, you will get your permission to do the road test. Now, during these 8 months, with your written test, you will receive a driver's permit. So that is essentially like a learner's license, and with that, you can drive around the entire Canada as long as you have a person with you who has over 5 years of driving experience. You can drive, but without that, you are not legally allowed to drive. After 8 months, you will be eligible to apply for your road test, and once completed successfully, you will get your full and final license, and that's when you can independently drive anywhere you want. You can buy a car in your name, you can get insurance in your name, and you can drive anywhere you want. Speaking of insurance, also insurance is mandatory. It's expensive and it is mandatory. So cars, you'll find cars for a relatively cheaper price, but insurance is going to be expensive, and that is where most of the money is going to be drained. Now, if you bring your license with you, what happens? If you bring your license with you, you do not have to wait for the eight months. So for me, I brought my license with me, right? And I did not have to wait for the 8 months to do the road test. Once you come here, you can apply for the written test and go in, come back quickly out. And once you're done your written test, you will receive in the mail in 2 to 3 weeks, you will receive your learner's permit. And immediately after, once you receive a learner's permit, immediately after, you can look for the next available booking for the road test and go in and apply for your road test. Once you successfully complete your road test, you will immediately receive your license in the mail. I think you'll have to pay a small fee, also about $100 or so, to receive the actual physical card, and with that, you can go ahead and do your driving anywhere you want. So in your documents, make sure to include your driver's license if you already have it. Moving on to point number 2, the kitchen materials. For kitchen materials, if you are an experienced cook and if you already have a lot of experience cooking different and variety of items, and if you actually enjoy it, then you also might already have a set of equipments that you use regularly and equipments that you are used to using, so you might want to bring them with you. Now, if you are not an experienced cook like I am, I do not know anything about cooking, so I just brought the basic necessities with me. You can do that because, like, really speaking, you will get most of the stuff for cooking available here. I'll tell you what you will not get, but things like utensils, plates, spoons, glasses, all that stuff you can buy over here. You don't have to increase the weight of your bag. You're only allowed, I think, 23 kilos, 2 bags of 23 kilos in one flight. So don't unnecessarily fill up space. Bring the stuff that you need. So for example, I like the holder that we have in India. The image on the screen you see is the holder that I like to use, and that is why I brought that from India, because it's difficult to find a piece like that over here, right? You can get it over here, unique and items that are not found in Canada. You can purchase them online through eBay and Alibaba and all those sorts of websites, but they take more than a month to be delivered here. So if only you absolutely love a particular piece of utensil or equipment, then you can bring that. Otherwise, most of your materials you can get over here itself. Now for spices, that is something you need to include in your bag, because spices here, like a small bottle like this, is going to cost you $5 to $7, $10, $15, right? Why you want to spend so much when you have the opportunity to bring spices with you? So spices that are rarely found, for example, chili powder. Chili powder is actually still available, for the mostly available here, but the Indian spices that you are used to cooking, that may not be available here. Sabji masala, and I don't know the names of all, but you might want to bring them with you. If you have a lot of taste and love towards them, you can bring them with you. So don't forget your spices. If you have finished all of your spices here, how can you order some more? You can either have your parents order and send it to you here, but that is going to be expensive obviously, and it will take a month to come here. The other thing that you can do is order your spices from Toronto. Toronto, they've got a lot of. Toronto is the city of immigrants, so they've got lots of Indian varieties of spices and stuff out there. You can order things from a wholesale club, and get it at a really cheaper rate. Now we have wholesale club here in St. John's as well, but the prices are still not up to the mark for the wholesale club, and I don't think that they've got a variety of Indian spices as well. So you might want to get it from Toronto. Point number 3 is going to be your winter wear. Now for clothes, it depends upon what kind of clothes you like and what kind of clothes you are comfortable wearing. For me, I brought mainly just light clothing, light stuff, and especially if you want to do your winter shopping in your home country in India, you might want to check out Decathlon. Decathlon is a store where you can get all sorts of good stuff, good clothing, good shoes, really good shoes. I actually brought my winter shoes from Decathlon, and it's been almost 3 years now. I'm still using the shoe. It's been good for so long, right? So Decathlon is a store I 100% recommend you guys to purchase your clothing from. The other thing about clothing I want to say is, if you are wondering whether you should buy your winter clothes here in Canada or in your home country, I would recommend you purchase your winter clothes here in Canada itself, because the clothing here are made for the weather, whereas the clothing in your home country, for India example, the winter clothing would be made for the weather in India, which the winter in India is nothing, right? Over here it is 10-15 times colder than your home country. Temperatures go down -30, -40 degrees depending on the province you go to. In Newfoundland, the temperature hovers between -5 to 0 degrees during the winters. Last winter was a crazy winter. We had a snowstorm and things was just crazy, and the storm that we had last winter was never seen in 36 or 40 years. What you could do is maybe get one jacket that is good and has good quality, just to get your foot in the door, and then from the airport when you come out, you can wear that and go back home, and then use that unless you get your own jacket for the winter here. I would also advise you to make a good investment in your one winter jacket. You don't have to buy 10 different jackets, just buy one proper winter jacket, and that will keep you warm for 5 to 6 to 7, even 10 winters. You want to get a nice jacket, you want to invest good money in it. A good jacket can range from $300 to $400, but depending on your budget, you can also get it for cheaper. However, in your first and second year, you may not have a car, so it is a very good idea to get a nice jacket that can help you out, because when you're traveling on the road, moving on and off buses, going to the bus stop, walking home, you will feel cold. If your jacket is not good enough, then you would regret that. So invest a good amount of money, save up money, and buy a nice decent jacket for yourself that will keep you warm. Point number 4, guys, laptops and electronics. Now, where should you buy your laptops from? If you are coming here as a student, you obviously are going to need a laptop or a computer, some sort of a device where you can do your assignments, your projects, submit your work to the professor. That is why it is important to have your own laptop or some sort of an electronic gadget to do your work. Well, you can buy your laptop in your home country and then come over here if it is cheap. However, if you are interested in getting a MacBook or a MacBook Pro or any sort of an Apple device, like I've got here with me MacBook Pro, and this is pretty good. MacBook Pros here in Canada are available for a little bit cheaper, and by a little bit I'd say a considerable amount of difference. You'll get it for a cheaper price here in Canada and the US compared to in your home country. The other important point about purchasing a MacBook is going to be your charger. If you are planning on purchasing your MacBook in your home country, then you might want to keep this point in mind. In Canada, we have chargers like these and pins like these that go into sockets, but in India you may have something else. You may have like a round one that goes into the socket, but if you want to use that charger here, then you will always have to carry with you an adapter that you can put this one into, and then the adapter goes into the socket. So if you are comfortable in carrying that adapter everywhere you go, then only I would recommend to purchase one from India, because here in Canada you only have in almost every house you're only going to find these sort of sockets. But if you are coming from India, then the charger you have may not have these sort of pins, and so therefore you'll have to carry your adapter everywhere you go. If you are getting a really good deal on the laptop, then what you could do perhaps is purchase the laptop from India, and then when you get here, purchase a new charger. So that might be a little bit more expensive. Like an original charger like this is going to be hundreds of dollars, right? So that may be a little bit more expensive purchasing a new charger, but again, you don't have to carry that adapter. Carrying an adapter can be a little bit pain. The other thing in laptops and electronics is going to be a cell phones. If you already own a cell phone in India, then it is okay to bring that with you. If you do not own a cell phone, do not go and buy a phone from India. That is what I would say. When you get here, you can purchase a phone on a plan. Now, how this works is you can purchase a cell phone on a plan in say a 24-month period, and you basically pay off the cell phone every single month in the 24-month plan. And if you sign up with Bell, then they will charge you around $60 to $70 depending on which plan you take, and in return they will give you, I think, 15 to 20 gigs of data, which is a lot data a month, and unlimited calling, unlimited texting, US and Canada. And with this, they will also charge you the phone installments as well. So around say $20 a month if you go for the iPhone 11 right now. The one that I'm shooting on is the iPhone XS Max. If you go to purchase the iPhone 11, they're selling it for only $11, I think $11 or $15 a month, and with that you pay that much money for 24 months. So the original cost of the phone is going to be a lot less than the phone itself. So I think the iPhone 11 is around $1,000, $1,100, but essentially you will only be paying around $300 to $400 in the 24-month plan. However, you will additionally be paying for the $60 in data and calling. So it's a very smart business technique they've got, where they say you were going to be purchasing the iPhone, which is worth $1,000. You're only purchasing it for $300 to $400, but you are also paying for the data and the calling, and the cost of that is huge, right? $60 $70 a month. That's a lot of money. So you can do that. Most students get into that sort of a plan, and it is reasonable for students because they're also working and paying as well, right? And as a student, you will need the data, you will need calling and all of those features. So again, you can come over here and then purchase your phone. The advantage for you is you will get a variety of choices, the selection from the best of the phones in the market. So keep that in mind. I actually got myself the iPhone XS Max, which now I'm thinking of upgrading to the Samsung Galaxy S10. That's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, then give it a huge thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't already, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. I will see you in the next episode. Talk to you later.